Hi, welcome to The Art of Yoga with Cat Justice, and today we're going to be doing a yoga sequence based around lower back pain. So for those of you who suffer from occasional, frequent, constant pain in the lower back area, this video is going to help to get that part of your body more support, get it moving better, and get it feeling better. This is going to be one in a series of videos that I'm doing based around lower back pain for different diagnoses. So depending on what's causing the pain, your yoga program might look really different. So these videos are going to address kind of those really deep causes of the pain to try and help not just make you feel better in the short run, but maybe help heal you and maybe help move you past the pain to a part in your life where you feel less or none at all. That said, this first video is not a specific diagnosis. This is what they call non-specific lower back pain. So this is for those of you out there who may not know why your back pain is there. Maybe you've had MRIs, you've gone to the doctor and they say, we don't know, or sorry. Maybe you've had some physical therapy, maybe that's helped, maybe it hasn't. But this is for you, non-specific lower back pain. So when they say, we don't know why, this is the yoga that might be helping you. That said, with all of these lower back videos, all of my videos in general, let your body be your teacher. So if something that we're doing feels wrong and your lower back says, ooh, I don't know if we should be doing that, you shouldn't do that. So trust your body, let your body teach and let your body lead. And maybe join back in a few poses later on the video, just practice your breathing and maybe make the motions smaller. Sometimes that can make a big difference. But in general, follow the instincts that you have, follow your body's lead, and you can't go wrong. That said, let's get started. So we're going to start on our backs, and you're going to come to lie on your back with your feet flat, knees bent, and your body resting down. And go ahead from here, take one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. You can have your knees pointing straight up, or you can let them fall together like a little tent shape. Maybe the feet need to come a little wider to help that happen. And then go ahead and close your eyes. With your eyes closed, start to take some nice, slow, deep breaths. And just notice, where's your breath sitting in your body? And what we want to try and get is the breath lower down in towards the lower rib cage and the belly. What happens oftentimes is people with lower back pain, you're trying so hard to kind of stabilize and hold that back, hold that pain away, that you tighten your belly and you never let your breath get down into the belly. But when we breathe down into our belly, we're actually giving a little massage to our back. Maybe you can even feel it as you breathe here. As you inhale and let your belly and your lower ribs expand, maybe feel how your lower back can gently expand too. So not only are we massaging our lower back, but when we're training our body to breathe into the belly, we're training our diaphragm to be able to move. And that helps us access some of our deeper core muscles that are going to give support to our back. And then speaking of those deeper core muscles, let's find some of them. So from here, you're now going to separate your knees if they're together. And you can take your arms down at your sides, or if it helps you to feel the movement that we're going to be doing, you can take your hands to your hips with kind of your pinching fingers right at those front hip points. From here, we're going to move through some pelvic tilts or pelvic rocks. So you're going to inhale and gently rock your pelvis forward like a rolling pin, or roll it forward, and you'll feel this little arch coming into the lower back, some space coming in under your back. And then as you exhale, you reverse that movement, and rock it back, feeling your lower back gently press into the floor. So you inhale, rock forward, and exhale, rock back. Moving with the breath. And this is one of these movements that if it doesn't feel good, make it smaller. It really doesn't matter how big or how small these movements are. Just inhale, rock forward, exhale, rock back. If it's difficult to coordinate the breath, that's okay. Just keep working with it. As long as you're breathing, that's like 90% of it. Exhale, rock back. Inhale, rock forward. Just feeling that gentle movement. Pain-free range. Again, if it hurts, make it smaller. We're waking up some deep core muscles At the same time, we're helping to get our back moving a little better. And then from here, now we're going to find kind of our neutral spine. So we've worked on sort of that extremely arched and that extremely flattened position of the back. And now we're going to find the halfway between position. So you find just that little hint of a curve. And now you're going to really engage some of these deeper muscles in the belly to hold strong and to allow your back to stay neutral. So we're teaching our belly to stabilize our back. If it helps, sometimes you can feel it better if you slide your hands under your lower back, and then you can feel if there's movement there. You really don't want to feel much movement at all. You want to feel just nice and strong through there. And then from here, we're going to do some nerve flossing for our sciatic nerve. So the big nerve that goes down the back of the leg, we're going to loosen up the connective tissue around that nerve. So to do that, you're going to hold that neutral spine. Maybe one or both hands are under your leg. Or you can take your right knee and just gently hug it into the chest, but don't let the back flatten as you do it. Keep the back neutral. Left foot can stay on the floor, or it can extend out long, whatever feels better. From here, you're going to point your toes, and on an inhale, you're going to reach your leg up to the sky. Maybe it can totally straighten, maybe not, doesn't really matter. You just reach it up, and then as you exhale, you're going to pull your toes back and pull your knee back into your chest. So you inhale, point and reach, and exhale, draw it back in. Just moving at your own pace. Inhale to reach, exhale, draw it back in, and at the same time we're feeling our back hold strong, so no movement in the back. We're giving that little flossing movement or that gliding movement to the connective tissue around that big nerve bundle that runs down the back of the leg so that it doesn't put tension on our back. And then from here, now go ahead and keep your foot flexed and reach the leg up. If as you do this, you get pain down the back of the leg, release the foot, point the toes. Otherwise, draw it back. You're just going to find that deep but comfortable stretch. So for some people, the deep stretch might be here. For other people, it might be here. Doesn't really matter. You just find kind of where your comfortable edge is and just feel that gentle stretch and opening through the back of the leg, but without feeling anything in the back. Again, we're still holding our back neutral. And then from there, we'll take the other side. So same thing, maybe you keep your right foot flat as you take the left knee in. Maybe you straighten the leg. Either way, we're going to find our neutral spine, so don't let the back flatten too much. And then we're going to glide the nerve. So you can inhale, reach up, and exhale, draw back. So you're inhaling, point and reach. Exhaling, pull the foot back as you hug the knee in. You might not feel very much happening at all on these nerve glides, and that's fine. It's actually ideal to feel very little at all. We're just kind of trying to get, again, freeing up that connective tissue layer around the nerve. Moving with the breath and finding that deeper core strength as we hold our back steady throughout the movement. And then gently stretching up through the leg. From there, just a couple of breaths to, again, feel that nice, deep, but comfortable stretch through the back of the leg. And if there's pain, you can release the foot if that feels better, or you can draw the toes back. Make sure the neck and shoulders aren't tensing too much. And then gently release it down. From there, now you're going to take both feet flat on the floor. Bring your arms down at your sides, and we're going to play around with bridge pose. So for bridge, it's going to start out like that pelvic tilt. We're going to scoop the tailbone under, and one vertebra at a time, we're going to walk our hips up and just lifting as high as you want to go, as high as is comfortable. For some people, it might be an inch up off the floor. Other people might lift their hips all the way to kind of that deeper back bendy position. But then when you're ready to come down, you're just going to exhale and roll down one vertebrae at a time. And you can think of it like pearls on a string, or like walking motion. Like you're walking your way up the back and walking the way back down. You can think inhale to lift, exhale to lower, or you can move even slower and take a couple breaths per movement. You just want to think that you're going to breathe and move together. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower, or a couple breaths. Just trying to get that deeper articulation in the spine, that deeper mobility, and that deeper strength, that deeper sense of controlling through the back. At the same time, when we're lifting up into bridge this next time, go ahead, hold at the top. And notice if your knees are starting to splay out wide, and think about keeping them connected energetically, like you're reaching your knees away from your hips. Maybe even engaging your glute muscles a little to take some of the pressure off your lower back. And then slowly roll it on down. From here, as you come down, go ahead and cross your right ankle over your left knee, keeping the right toes drawn back. Maybe this is a deep enough stretch for that right hip. You feel good, you can stay here. Or you can reach through the gap, take hold of the left thigh, and gently hug it in. Maybe you rock side to side a little. Rocking to the left is going to deepen the stretch in the right hip. Rocking to the right is going to release it. And this is a really nice way to open up some of those deeper hip rotating muscles in the back, particularly the piriformis muscle, which can be a troublemaker for people with lower back pain. Again, coming back to that nice diaphragmatic belly breathing. And then gently release, and we'll take the other side, crossing left ankle over the right knee. And again, you can stay right here. This is a notoriously asymmetrical position, so maybe one side looks different than the other, and that's okay. Or you can reach through the gap, hug that right knee in a little closer. You can see what it feels like to rock to the right, rock to the left. Just finding that comfortable edge. Again, this stretch should feel deep into that left hip, deep but comfortable. So if there's pain, back off. And then gently release from here. And then you're going to just let your whole body, like a log, roll all the way over to one side and come on up to hands and knees. From hands and knees, go ahead, spread your fingers nice and wide. Feel the whole palm of the hand engaged with the earth. And we're going to move through cat and cow. So like the pelvic tilts, cat and cow can be as big or as small as your back wants them to be. So as you exhale and find cat, rounding through the back, maybe it's a big, big cat stretch, maybe it's a small one, doesn't really matter. And then as you inhale for cow, same thing, maybe your back likes to arch really deep, maybe it doesn't. Just moving through that comfortable range. So you're going to exhale, round for cat, inhaling, arching for cow. Let the breath lead, let your body follow. And listening to your back, listening to what it wants. Keeping the movement within that pain-free range. You can also think of it like how in bridge we were trying to move vertebra by vertebra. Maybe in cat and cow, you're feeling that same kind of wave-like motion through the spine. Let the movement start at the hips, let it end at the head. Building that deeper articulation, that deeper control for the back. Moving with the breath. Let the breath and the movement happen together. And then coming back to neutral. From here, just like we did after the pelvic tilts, how we found our neutral spine, now we're going to find our neutral spine here in our tabletop. And to do that, you're going to reach back through your right leg. As the right leg reaches back, feel that little bit of a calf stretch happening in the right foot. And then from there, you're just going to take less and less weight on that right leg, but without actually lifting it off the ground. So just feel it be super, super light. And notice how when you take the weight off the right leg, that immediately there's less weight on the left hand. And then you're going to keep that left hand light. It'll stay on the ground to start, but then maybe float that right leg up off the ground and see what happens. You're going to feel your belly just gently draw upward towards your spine to support your back. Feel the lengthening happening from the back heel to the crown of the head. And maybe that left arm wants to stay on the ground, or maybe it wants to reach. The whole idea is keeping your body really still so that you're not dropping the hip or lifting the hip, but that you're staying with that neutral spine. Hi, Lotus. You've come to do some yoga. How's your back feel, kitty cat? I know, she just missed cat pose. I'm sorry. And you can come on down, and we'll take the other side. So left toes tuck. First feel that nice little stretch through the calf, through the foot. And then less and less weight on that left foot. Don't lift it yet, just feel that weight shift off. Feel that right hand getting light. And then when the right hand starts to get light, Then you lift the leg. You can hang out there, or you can reach. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that you feel like you can support your back. So you're feeling, again, your belly just gently draw up towards your back to help give it support. You're feeling your body be nice and long, nice and balanced, and you're breathing, not bracing with the diaphragm. And then go ahead, coming back down. And then from here, you're going to take the hands slightly ahead of the shoulders, tuck your toes, feel your hips pull away from your hands. As the hips pull back, engage through the pelvic floor, through the legs. Keep lifting through the hips. Your hips are going to lift away from your hands into a downward facing dog. So people with lower back pain sometimes have tight hamstrings. If you have tight hamstrings, your knees should be bent in down dog. You can keep them nice and bent. And you can see here how I have that nice flat back. That's what you want to keep. If you can keep that back and straighten the legs without any pain, that's fine, that's great. But most people are going to want to keep at least a little bit of bend in their knees to get the strain off their back. And then exhale, gently lower back down, and take it into child's pose. Let your hips drop back. You can plant your hands to rest your head on them, or you can take the head to the earth. Child's pose is a great time to give support to your back, feeling your back kind of moving with the breath. Let it expand on the inhale, let it soften on the exhale. And then inhale, rise it back up to hands and knees. Once again, take the hands right under the shoulders, and then you're going to reach that right leg back again. This time, however, we're going to keep weight in that right leg, and we're going to start to shift the weight off of our left leg until eventually that left leg lifts and meets the right. If as you come into this plank, you feel like you've lifted through the hips, bring the hips back down so they're in line with the body, but you don't want to sink through them either. So you get that nice kind of neutral back, belly button drawing up towards the spine. Think of creating length in the body. And then exhale, knees, chest, and chin, gently lower to the earth. And we're going to play with Cobra Pose. So you're going to point your toes, and you're going to reach your legs long, but without lifting your feet up off the floor. Feet stay on the floor, but the toes are going to reach away from you. The hands come under the shoulders. Your shoulders, the heads of your arm bones are going to lift away from the floor and away from your ears. You're going to feel like your hands are pulling. Pull the hands back towards your feet. Tuck the chin and feel a nice long spine. Make sure you're breathing. So we're waking up our back, we're waking up our glute muscles, but we're creating length in the spine as we're doing it. We're finding support from the shoulder blades, support from our breath. And then from here, go ahead, just make a little pillow for your forehead with your hands and rest everything down. As you rest down, let your hips sway side to side. And then from here, go ahead and take the hands back under your shoulders. We'll take another round. Reach through the legs, but keep the feet planted. Draw the shoulders away from the earth, away from the ears. Find length and breathe. So most of us in our daily lives do not do a lot of back bending. So Cobra is a really gentle back bend, but it's a really strong back bend. So it's waking up some of those deeper spine muscles that we don't use enough throughout our day to support our back. It's also waking up our glute muscles to get some of the strain out of the back. Don't be afraid of the glutes. And then exhale, release it down and sway the hips. And one more round. Hands under the shoulders, reach through the toes, pull through the hands, find length. Soften the face, the throat, the jaw. And release it down. Hips sway side to side. And then from here, the hardest part of Cobra, I think, is actually getting out of Cobra without straining the body. So we're going to take the hands back under the shoulders. Elbows are going to tuck in at our sides. You're going to feel the knees gently press into the earth. And ideally, we're trying to lift our hips and shoulders together. But if that's not possible, just get the hips up off the ground as soon as they can. Inhale, rise it up. And then ease it back into child's pose. So sometimes after back bends, the back can feel a little stiff or a little sore, a little uncomfortable, again, just because our back's not used to them. So we take this time in child's pose to allow the back to relax. Maybe feeling your breath moving through your lower back like a massage. And then from child's pose, we're going to move forward, taking one more round of downward facing dog. So you're going to tuck your toes, pull back through the hips, lift from your hips, draw the weight off the arms, and feel like you're trying to lengthen the spine, like you're trying to pull from the hips to create space between the vertebrae of your back. And then from there, you're just nice and slow going to walk your feet up to your hands. Keep the knees nice and bent. Maybe even your chest or your belly rests on your thighs. That would be awesome. Knees are bent, the head hangs low. And then from here, your heart is going to reach forward. Keep some bend in the knees. Take the hands to the hips with a long spine. Inhale and gently rise it on up. Whew. If as you come to the top, you get a little head rush, you can sit down, you can breathe through it. No passing out aloud. Make sure you're breathing. Woo. And then we're going to come into mountain pose or Tadasana. From here, I'm facing forward just so you can see a little better. You're going to feel your body kind of root and ground through the four corners of your feet. You want to have equal weight on the front of the feet, the back. You can imagine as if you were wearing roller skates. Find all four skates. Maybe lifting up your toes. As the toes lift up, feel the deep kind of arches of your feet, those deeper muscles in the inner leg, the back of the inner leg rising up. Soften the toes back down, but keep that little bit of energy in through the arches. And feeling how much work those arches and the legs can be doing in order to take the workload off your lower back. As you wake up through the feet and the legs, think of easing that weight off the back. Think of feeling your breath dropping through the belly, softening through the neck and shoulders. You've got that nice little puppeteer string helping you grow taller in the back of the neck without lifting your chin. The chin softens down. Hands to the heart. Maybe you stay with the feet hip distance apart, or maybe you step them together for a little more challenge with the balance. From here, go ahead and rise your hands on up overhead. Interlace the fingers, but release your pointer fingers. As you reach up, you're going to lift up and over through that right side as you gently lean to the right. Feeling that nice opening through the rib cage as well as the lower back and the belly all together. A little crescent moon. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, up and over to the left, other side. Feel the breath opening now through the right side of the belly, back and waist. And exhale, slowly bring the hands back to the heart. And then from here, we're going to take it into chair pose. So now you're going to sit back through the hips. The feet can stay that hip distance apart, or I like them to touch here, because then I can feel if my knees are kind of jamming together. If the knees are jamming together, just have them lightly touch. Knees just lightly touch. Go ahead and shift the weight over onto the right foot as you slowly step the left foot back. And we're going to rise up into a Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1 pose. Feet are heel to heel, kind of lined up that way, or even a little wider, maybe bringing the front foot out a little bit more, if that helps you feel more stable. Front knee is bent until you can just see the big toe inside the knee. Arms are reaching upward comfortably, or you can rest your hands on your hips if that feels better. And from there, again, see if you can feel that support coming all the way from the arches of the feet, lifting up, maybe even lifting through the pelvic floor, softening the weight off the back. Maybe you can feel those left glute muscles starting to wake up. And then from there, exhale and slowly shift the weight back to that front foot, maybe coming immediately back into a chair pose, maybe taking a mountain in between. But when you're ready, sitting back in chair, we'll take the other side. Shift the weight to the left, and slowly, with control, step the right foot back. The feet can be nice and close together, they can be quite far apart. It just depends on what's comfortable for your body. Front knee bends until you can see your big toe. And again, feel that support from your back, starting with the arches of the feet. Make sure you're breathing. And then exhale. Slowly shift the weight back to that front leg. Coming back to chair. Inhale, reach it back up. From here, hook your thumbs like you're making little butterflies and lift up and back just for a gentle back bend. And then exhale, bend your knees like a swan dive, coming back into a forward fold. Let your head hang. From there, plant the hands and step it back into child's pose. And then from child's pose, we're going to flip back onto the back. And from here, you're going to go ahead and once again, bring your feet flat on the floor, but separate your feet so they're wider apart than your knees. And we're going to take some windshield wipers. Just let your arms rest out at your sides. And inhale as the hips come up. I got to scoot away from my couch, I'm a little too close. And exhale as the knees drop down. And like with all the other things that we've been doing, we're going to move with the breath and we're going to move through a comfortable range of motion. So if taking the knees all the way down doesn't feel good, don't do it. Don't force anything. This should be easy, relaxed motion. Maybe you're feeling a little gentle opening through the lower back, but most of the movement is actually happening in the hip joints, feeling that gentle ball and socket rotation. And then from here, now we're going to come into legs up the couch or legs up the chair pose. So you're going to want to bring a chair or some other object that you can rest your legs on close to you, or you can move to a place in your house or wherever you're doing this video. You can find a chair, a couch, something to rest your legs on. So you're going to rest your legs up the couch. Arms are going to rest out at your sides, and you're going to close your eyes. As you rest here, just feel the breath gently rise and fall in the belly. And we call this the Lumbar Decompression pose because it helps to take some of the pressure off of some of the joints of our lumbar spine, our lower back. Taking effort out of the body, let your body grow heavy. Again, feel your breath dropping low in the body, almost like a massage, as if your breath could massage your lower back. As you exhale, let any aches or pains wash their way out of your body. And as always, feel free to pause the video here and stay in a longer shavasana, a longer relaxation, if that feels right to you. And whenever you're ready, you're going to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. Just bring some gentle stretching movement into the body. To come out of legs up the chair, we don't rush it. We move slow. So you're going to gently roll to one side. You can support your head with your arm as you rest on your side. Taking your time, like allowing your heart to catch up with the movement of the body so that your heart doesn't have to work too hard too quickly. And then as you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and come on up. And as you come back up to sit, trying to feel that sense of lifting off your spine, creating effortless length through your back, softening through your shoulders, through your hips, and feeling that kind of inner reserve of strength and support coming from your belly, from your pelvic floor, from the soles of your feet, all of those areas, your glutes. Let them help your back. Let your back take a vacation. And then from here, you can go ahead and inhale, let your hands float up overhead, palms coming together. Exhale, thumbs to the forehead for peaceful thoughts, to the mouth for peaceful words, to the heart for peaceful action. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you all so much for watching this video and hopefully doing some yoga with me, hopefully helping your back to feel better. And like I said, this is going to be one in a whole series of lower back videos. So we're going to have another one for bulging discs and sciatica, another one for degenerative disc disease, and another one for stenosis. And we might even do more, but we're definitely going to do those 3 because I got them all planned out. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you're feeling great, and have a great rest of your day, evening, week, month, year, life, all of that. Namaste.